It's Monday afternoon. It's like 3:30. I did not expect to be doing this shit today. I woke up at like 5 in the morning to significant water in my basement. Spent all morning cleaning that up, which basically meant that I did not go to work. And I kind of had the option of sitting around the house annoying my wife while she did her work, or I could put more time into a mobile game that I spend way too much fucking time on. Now, in regular me fashion, I obviously have my drinks with me, um, because it's only 3:30. I'm a classy bitch, just some vodka and cranberry. But also because I do like my whiskey. Um, I got some of this Game of Thrones whiskey that I got years ago. It's not super great, but kind of want to just get rid of it. Point of today's video, something that's been on my mind a lot lately, which is ROI, return on investment, something I talk about a lot on the subreddit, something I see a lot of other people talk about, and they're constantly quoting the word. And when it comes down to efficiency, but I think what a lot of people don't understand is that there's multiple types of ROI. There's the return on investment when it comes to your materials, and then there's the return on investment when it comes to which areas of the game that characters can participate in, and then there's the return on investment that you get from just not having to spend so much time doing certain tasks in the game. And I think one of the major um, prime examples of this is Night Sisters. Okay, so we look at like Secrets and Shadows Tier 2. Up until Marin came around, it was a shit show. Some people could do it. There were like little tricks to do it with Talzin, and you could do it pretty low gear if you had really great mods and you really fucking hated yourself and wanted to spend all day doing it. Or you could be one of the like 1.1% of people who got it really quickly, and then they're like, oh, it's so fucking easy, guys. Why don't you just fucking do it? Um, which is actually like people with the Fulcrum tier of Grand Inquisitor. So we'll use Night Sisters for this one. Up until Marin came around, people weren't really prioritizing Secrets and Shadows, um, because unless you got really lucky or unless you really wanted to devote a ton of time, you had to relic that entire team, and that team just wasn't cost effective. They could take out like General Grievous, but I was doing that with just Ondaka at relic level. But they didn't really offer much to players outside of that with like Imperial Troopers, Commander Luke Skywalker, and other teams being able to steamroll them really, really easily in GAC and TW. Right, so what I kind of did, and I don't have fancy editing and shit, I use pen and paper, but kind of like a basic breakdown. If you were to relic 5 all of your Night Sisters a year ago to do Secrets and Shadows, just on signal data alone, it would take you 7 years to recoup your investment on the lowest tier, take you 6.5 years to recoup your reinvestment on the green tier, and it would take you 1 year on the blue tier, which is honestly not that bad. Then it would also take you like 4.5 years to recoup your investment on carbonate circuit boards, which is insane, right? You don't know if the game's going to be around in 4 years. You don't know if the game is going to be around in fucking 7 years. And this is going off of 13 months because CG likes to do an extra event in December. And again, we're talking about like the regular ass players. Somebody like Vance, who I know a lot of people like to make fun of. He's a young guy. I actually like him. I've talked to him a bunch of times. But someone who may not have the greatest mods or may not have a roster that's 8, 9, 10, 11 million GP deep, or have the modding to be able to do those things on the cheap. Or again, if you just fucking hated yourself for time. Before Marin, didn't I didn't have challenge tier 2 of that event done either, because I have better things to do, like get drunk and spend way too much time on Reddit. But now that we have, a character like Marin, we look at the Night Sister squad, and made a post about them a couple days ago, and I have that whole series, also on YouTube. where I've been autoing different parts of a fucking cat. No. Where I've been autoing different parts of Rise of the Empire just to kind of see what we can do and where I can bring time back into my life and not spend so much on this game. Um, so in the last couple of days, I actually took all of my Night Sisters to Relic 8, which seems fucking crazy, because it's way above what you would need for the assault battles, and I will literally never see a return on investment, even with Challenge Tier 3 now being readily accessible and um, cutting everything in half from where it was just for the Relic 5. But with those Night Sisters now, right, with Marin, you've got an easy two-shot on Jabba. Um, you can one-shot him if you get a little bit lucky and Jabba takes out the wrong guy for his team and you start stacking up damage. I've only been able to do it a couple times. Um, that works in GAC, that works in Territory Wars. They're really fucking good in Conquest with the Amplify Agni and Ruthless Swiftness with their Plague, and with Plague constantly being featured there. Um, but where they really, really, really fucking shine is in, Rise of Empire. If I pull up some of these folders on my computer, which you can't see because I am not on YouTube constantly and don't know or care to find out how to do anything like that. But you'll see that with the Night Sisters, I can pull off wins in Mustafar and Corellia and Geonosis, Felucia, Dathomir, Tatooine, Kessel, and Haven Class Medical without lifting a goddamn finger, right? And that's kind of the ROI that I want to talk about today. It may have made no sense for me to bring my characters, from Relic 5 to Relic 8 when there are people doing CT2, CT3 at those lower tiers. But the reality is that when you have to complete at maximum 118 fucking waves, and who the fuck has time for that shit, in Rise of the Empire, you look for ways to make your life easier, right? And Night Sisters are the one team that I found that have consistently been able to auto literally just about every node that I can possibly find that they are applicable to participate in. Even with Galactic, fuck, they taste like asshole. Even with Galactic Legends, Jedi Master Luke isn't always able to do that without Omicrons on his team. Kenobi isn't able to do that on planets like Braca without having Commander Ahsoka, and you need like 800 of those in your goddamn platoons. Rey sucks at half of the light speed battles without Omicrons, but you can throw her in the middle battles, which are easy as shit anyway. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren acts like a chicken with his head cut off if you throw him on auto and you have no idea what the hell you're going to get out of him. So Night Sisters being a much lower investment team, a much more accessible team for players who maybe, unlike me, don't have a Galactic Legends. It provides them an option to be able to do that without becoming a slave to time in this game. And as I'm getting older and as the hair is starting to gray a little bit, and as I have a job and a family and a wife and 2 cat children because I'm pathetic, I'm finding that I want to dedicate less and less and less to the game while still, remaining competitive and still participating in the community. And largely, that's one of the bigger reasons why I don't like watching videos, and that's why I don't make tons of these fucking videos unless the mood just kind of strikes me. So to recap here, even though it doesn't make sense from a materials standpoint, a team like the Night Sisters, they're able to save me considerable amount of times when I'm putting in 5 to 10 minute battles for six days, and they're able to consistently on every single node basically auto it. And although my guild, we're 550 million or something, we're towards the top end. We're not doing whatever planet the fifth dark side one is. I think it's a Death Star. Um, we're not doing that yet, and it'll probably be 400 years before we are doing it. I took a look at the modifiers there, and honestly, they might be my first Relic 9 team when that time comes, because I look at the modifiers, which is, I think, that volatile bullshit from Galactic Challenges where people just randomly die for whatever reason. Something like Zombie and something like Revives is going to be able to kind of pull you through that really easily. So again, to recap again, we talk about ROI. Oh, fuck that shit. We're talking about being able to get your materials back quicker, right? And that's why in some of the assault battles, we're looking at like the Imperial Troopers team, which is really great since it can do Rebel Roundup and it can do Forest Moon and it can do it really, really low gear if you really wanted to do, right? You can get Pete, Stark, Veers up, and then you can pull like range and snow to G12 without spending any fucking cryotech on them. I don't know. And you can burn through CT3 even as a lower to mid tier player, and that gives you 2 out of the 7 of them, and you'll kind of recap that those materials a lot faster than other players who are maybe investing in other things. So when I do like roster reviews for people and people reach out to me on Discord and I discuss with them and I act like a pauper and beg them for beer money. Not really, it doesn't happen. We never talk about that shit. But one of the first things that I look at is their assault battles, because the quicker that you're getting through those, the quicker you're getting a good return on your material investment. But then again, the other side of that is your time investment. What is your time worth? Can you do these battles while you're at work and your phone is just sitting on your desk and you're looking at an Excel spreadsheet? Can you do those battles while you're at home watching the 3rd season of Succession? It's just kind of laying on the armrest of your chair. Can you do that battle while you're in the bathroom, or before you take a shower, you throw on that battle and you go take your shower and it's done? Yeah. At this point, honestly, I have spent the last 3 to 4 months kind of fine-tuning teams. I think I have like 65, 70 videos of different teams that can automatically go through anything in Rise of Empire, with the exception of those 2 hate fucks of Dark Side fleet battles. And there's like 2 or 3 other fleet battles that I haven't fully figured out just yet. But for the most part, when I do Rise of Empire and I'm pulling large waves from my guild, other than when I have failed experiments, not a single one of those battles has been done manually, because who the fuck has the time for that shit? So with that said, I have been rambling for 13 fucking minutes at this point, which is way too many fucking minutes for a goddamn video. I'm not even drunk yet. I don't give a shit if you like. I don't give a shit if you comment. I don't give a shit if you subscribe. What I do care about is that we want to get that Jar Jar petition up. We're at like 1,930 names at this time, which is insane. It's been a week and a half. Like, it's literally fucking crazy. I did not expect it to go that far. I did promise the guys on Reddit, if it hits 2,000 names, I will read a saucy chapter from a Colleen Hoover book. Try to do voices. I don't know. I read one of her books because my wife told me it was a mystery and I didn't know who she was as an author. Verity is a very interesting book. I do not recommend it. But if you watched 15 fucking minutes of this, honestly, holy fucking shit, get a life. Cheers. Oh God, Satan's asshole.